Welcome to the Arsenal Armchair podcast, episode 2. Coming live from my flat this afternoon. I'm on an armchair of sorts. It's kind of like a pull-out foldable chair. It's actually doubles up as a bed, so if you stay over, and you're welcome to, you'll probably be on this little kind of almost futon thing of mustard persuasion, which is good for the odd blemish, or if you drop a bit of something on it. I'm not going to mind. It's fine. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all charged and excited ahead of the final this weekend. Starting to just binge a bit of build-up content now, lineups, what are we gonna do? Who's here, who's there? Someone's seen Timber back in training, so that's caused all sorts of, do we start Havertz? Oh, I think Gyökeres deserves a shout. So starting to just go a bit gung-ho on that. It's 25 hours away as we go to press, so just making plans and preparations for how we can take in this momentous day. And they're saying just enjoy it. I just watched Adrian Clark's YouTube and his post and his preview. Just enjoy it is how he kind of summed it up. We haven't been here for 20 years, so just go out and enjoy it. On the Totally Football show this morning, James Richardson had Duncan Alexander and a couple of other commentators in conversation, and it was 2-1. Two of them were favouring PSG, and then Duncan said, well, if you lot are going to say them, I'll say the Arsenal, why not? They just broke down all kinds of reasons. I guess the chaos factor is what we're hearing about right now from PSG, in that they kind of get the ball and they run in every direction, and they're just deadly on the wings. So I think maybe, if we just defend as resolutely as we have been all season, hopefully that can stem that. And then we've got a fair bit of chaos facts going forward. Our front line seem to all pretty much be in form right now. I think Trossard's found his feet once again. Saka's been pretty deadly all season. Gyökeres has really been singing his own praises of late, and then Havertz has come back and made a plentiful bang as well. Plus, then potentially Eze off the bench, maybe he starts. I don't know. So, anyway, hope your week's been well. Thanks very much for tuning in and coming back and finding us now on iTunes. It takes a bit of a. It's not that tricky to set it up, but you've just got to click these things. You've got to find a token. If you want to put a podcast on Apple, you've got to find a token. It's similar to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory years ago when they gave out, tickets to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory in mystery chocolate bars around the land. That's what it's like to get a podcast on iTunes. But we're here on YouTube. We're here on Spotify. Maybe we're hearing some others as well. And it's the Arsenal Armchair Podcast. I told you I'd wear the lucky hat one week, but I've left it at work, sorry. I wore it yesterday and I've left it there. So I've got a St. Joseph's Hospice hat on, which is a very noble cause. They're based in North London. They've actually got a little fundraiser this weekend. You can go down and check out their gardens. And they've also got a quiz night happening in a couple of weeks' time, where Hoxton Radio's Anissa T will be hosting that. It's at Backyard Comedy Club. It's towards the end of June. So if you want to take part in a quiz for good causes for St. Joseph's Hospice, then maybe we'll see you there. My general knowledge, I guess, would be indie rock and roll from 2001 to 2004, and then I'd be willing to have a crack at the Invincible season. I'd be willing to think I could name, starting 11, stats, scores, matches, sweat count on my own part, and perhaps then this season as well, which is going to go down in history. But it's a bit too recent, isn't it? I don't think you'd get Arsenal 2025, 26 questions at a pub quiz yet. But come come July, it's going to be part of the bonus round, ain't it? Where should we start then? Where are you watching Tomozza? What are your plans looking like? How are you feeling? I've seen a ton of new news content on mainly Insta that's where to watch the game this weekend, the parade route, our top this, that, and the other. And there was a pretty good one that was just percentage full of various pubs in and around the area, 12 pins, pretty much full already. The Gunners have already said they're full. Theirs is 20 quid for a ticket, but you get a free pint for that. Fulshire and Fullback almost pretty much full. Clissold Park Tavern, I ride past that pretty much every day, and they're actually doing stuff on Sunday which kind of looks pretty good. So if you want to go and watch the parade from Clissold Park Tavern, I think that's a tenner in. Again, it gets you a drink and you can kind of go in and out, and the barriers are up already outside that pub in particular because that's where the route's going. So the Alma on Newington Green could also be a good shout. I think for any pubs, if you wanted to go on Sunday, you probably got to get there for like 10ish, I think, if you wanted to squeeze in. And as for pubs tomorrow for the final, probably similar sort of time. Crazy like videos of queues, and I saw firsthand queues for the pubs last weekend for the final match against Palace, and you're going to have a good time though, aren't you? The weather's pretty plush at the moment. You're with Gooners. Everyone's kind of singing. If you don't get in, it's a bit of a bugger. But if you do, it'll be all the more sweeter. So I'm actually thinking of hitting up a pub here in Wood Green because I'm working in the day till about 2ish. And I just don't want to be riding to pubs around Finsbury Park and them going like, nah, mate, sorry, because I've done that a few times before, and it's a bit like before the match even kicks off. If you get a bit of like, nah, mate, there's no room at the inn, you're a bit like, So there's a pub just near to the tube here that I've only got fun memories of drinking in like once before. We were meant to go and see Fortet at Ali Pali, and we rocked up, and the crowd just looked really weird and like just colourful but strange and wacky and a bit over the top, and it was just seemed really busy pre-show for it to be, why is everyone drinking in the Phoenix bar? We'd actually gone to a wrestling event. I'd got the dates wrong, so we ended up at a wrestling event and the DJ was playing like wrestling soundtracks, and the crowd, who were all dressed in wrestling attire, were just going mad for it. So we hung out there for a bit, and then we went back to said pub in Wood Green and had a few drinks. So it's got good memories for me, at least, and hopefully it will do tomorrow night as well. I'd love to know any recommendations for where you're watching locally, though, in your towns, across the country or across the globe, because the Arsenal Armchair podcast is all about reaching out to you, supporting kind of at your home that's probably not Highbury or North London, be it, I don't know, Milton Keynes, be it Denmark, be it New York City. We've reached out to quite a few Arsenal supporters clubs already, and hopefully we'll feature you in the show in the weeks and months to come. If you'd also like to get in touch as and be a correspondent, and like we could have regular check-ins, that'd be amazing, because for me to just sit here talking to you each week is going to be really repetitive for you and extremely repetitive for me. The Nag's Head in Wood Green, pub with dark wood floorboards will be useful for tomorrow, and panelling. Darts, pool, big screens for live sports, outdoor seating, takeaway, dine-in, and on-site services. I wonder what those could be. Excuse me, mate, can I get my dry cleaning done while I'm here? Highlights also include bar games. There won't be any of those tomorrow, I hope. Great wine list, great beer selection, karaoke, and it also ticks popular for solo dining in like its own category. So if there are any solo gooners at the Nag's Head tomorrow in Wood Green, I'm going to put my arm around you and just clench you really closely to me and be like, come on, we're going to do it. I hope you've had fun in your Arsenal attire over the last week, just out in public on non-match days, and I've taken it upon myself to wear my Gooner shirt as many places as I can go, and every Arsenal fan that I see, just a bit of a wink of acknowledgement and a bit of, all right, mate, yes. And I saw a geezer last week, and I rode past him on my bicycle and I dinged my bell, so we had a little wave. And then an onlooker who wasn't wearing anything Arsenal related at all gave a massive smile. So the positive impact that we're sharing with one another is now seeping out to the general public. So I think everyone has taken a little boost, or maybe even a big boost, from Arsenal's momentous win in the Prem last weekend. Did you see the match? Did you watch it? We were watching the antics at the bottom of the table, seeing what that club up the road were going to do, and also West Ham, and like flicking a bit between the two. And then I think with about 10 minutes to spare, it seemed like, oh, this is kind of over. It looks like they've done it, and West Ham did their business, but it wasn't enough. So then we saw the last 10 minutes of our match. I was a bit gutted that we didn't watch the whole thing, really, and in hindsight, I could have just had text updates from what they were doing. I don't really care about them too much, so it would have been nice to see us parading first time out as champions, but alas, went back to the ground after the match, and it was beautiful because it was obviously a bit earlier on Sunday than when we won it in the week on Tuesday. So it was like daylight and it was scorching and just beautiful, just like glorious, like red golden skies above Highbury, and just so many like smiles on faces and just great atmosphere. And we left, guess we must have got there about 6:30, 7ish, and we probably stuck around for an hour or so. And as we were leaving, the crowd seemed like even busier coming back. So we walked back past just over the bridge goes towards like Arsenal Tube, and we walked back past Arsenal Tube, and it was like a home match. Like the amount of people coming in to come and celebrate for the Arsenal, and it just looked great to see kind of the pictures from the night that we won it, but like almost recreated in daylight with fresh views and perspectives, and loads of people that obviously couldn't get to the game, to the impromptu celebrations when we won or when we clinched it. When City drew at Bournemouth last week, loads of people that couldn't make it down obviously made an effort then to come on that Sunday. So it was nice to then see all this fresh content and snap loads of freshies myself of the ground just looking glorious. And I think on the Tuesday when I went, I was just so wowed and excited and bowled over by it all that I was taking pictures, but it was night time and it was a bit darker and it was just like crazy. So on Sunday, I think better lighting and a bit more mellow, and I was a bit jollied by then as well. I just was able to take it in and snap it a bit more, so that was nice. I've got a few mementos now. I'm not great when I'm out and about at taking pictures and videos, hopefully because I'm living in the moment, but usually because I'm just, I don't know, not thinking about that kind of stuff. But I guess if we're going to make a working diary of this beautiful team over the next however long, whilst making the Arsenal Armchair podcast, I'm going to get better with the camera and with the video and with the edits for you, dearest. Let's do some early shouts to kind of preview and prelude who this show's going to be for and about in the coming weeks and months, and then we'll have to live up to what we're preaching, right? Looking to chat to you. Tell us about your setup, where you watch the game from, what your armchair looks like. Is it a fold-out number so that guests can stay over after a heavy night, or is it just a solo piece? I don't know. Supporters groups, local pubs that you want to shout out, how you watch the games. Like, do you listen? Are you a radio fan like myself? Do you follow and live text, which is sort of modern adaptation of teletext, isn't it? If you've got a flag up at the ground, be lovely to chat to you. On the Arsenal website, you can see a load of these supporters groups. We've emailed tons of them, and we will feature as many on this show as possible. Shouts massively then to the women's team, who over the last 22 years have kept our club alive from continuing to win pretty much every trophy out there, and have just been surging over the last few years, still on the pitch and then off it as well. I guess with the Emirates now open up to the women's home matches and the women playing most of their games at the Emirates, means we've got this fresh fan base of young and diverse viewers coming in to see us each week. Obviously loads more women, tons more kids, and I guess the legacy of Arsenal is now being like extended, and it's just taken in a wider fan base than ever before. Getting tickets to see Arsenal women is a heck of a lot easier than getting men's tickets. So we're going to shine as much light on the women's game as possible as we can do in the Arsenal Armchair podcast. Big thanks to my favourites in the podcast game that I listen to weekly, more than once weekly. Handbrake Off is my absolute favourite, with Ian Stone hosting that. Amy Lawrence is a regular pundit, as is then Adrian Clark, as is then Art de Roche, plus James McNicholas, who when I Googled him, I only knew him as like an Arsenal commentator / pundit, but he's actually written and authored loads of kids' books like Horrible Histories. He voices a load of that. He's an actor. He's got a massive profile online, and I just knew him as a gooner, and now it turns out he has a different job altogether. And big up to a couple of other podcasts out there that I've just discovered in the last week, whose toes we might be treading on a little bit. So sorry in advance to the Armchair podcast. I think this is like a group of brothers. who are based up north. I listened to their show in the week. It was really funny. Like, they discussed the match and where they'd been. Like, they watched our match, or that rather, like, they'd watched the Bournemouth City match at their local pub, and it just went off. And they're just having like friendly banter with each other, but it gets like really, I think they might even be brothers. They kind of dig at each other quite a bit, and it's very amusing to listen to. Check out the Armchair podcast, all about the Arsenal, and just comedic content from Josh and Jacob Flowers. So they must be bros. Gonna try and get them on the show, because we've sort of stolen their name a little bit here, but I'm happy to share it if they are. Yeah, so we'll look to then feature other pods that you're into. If you've got any recommendations for Arsenal podcasts and content out there that we should be having on this channel, let's get it on the go. Let's get you on the go. Maybe see if we can get some prizes and merch to give away. I've got a signed Arsenal scarf on that my friend gave me for Christmas a couple of years ago. I don't know who the signature actually is. It's getting a bit mucky now as well, but if you recognise this, or if it's your signature, maybe Dennis Bergkamp's watching or listening, I promise it is signed. Let's get it off. It's here. It's on here somewhere. There we go. Is this your signature? Do you recognise that scribble? Is that a bit of you? It looks like super Dennis was here. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a bit of that on. I've been on a bit of a merch search over the last week. I ordered this season's shirt, which seems to be out of stock on the Arsenal website, and it's even out of stock in Sports Direct now, but I found it on Vinted for like 30 quid, but they haven't posted it yet, so it's not going to be here for the final, but hopefully for next week's show. Otherwise, you'll see me in that one and a couple of others going down. So I reckon that's all for this week, unless you've got any other business you wanted to talk about. A few Arsenal songs maybe we could think about. Well, Handbrake Off they put out like a little playlist each week, which is all full of Arsenal songs. On my radio show yesterday, I got to play We Are the Champions by Queen for the first time since we've done it. It's just been a lot of war paint this week for me, because I'm hopefully going to see him in South Bank in a few weeks' time, plus then Fortet, who's coming to play Finsbury Park in July. They've mainly been on the stereo, so that's been my personal Arsenal audio journey through music. But what's yours? What have you been listening to that's been getting you vibey? Doesn't have to be Arsenal like related per se, but if it gets you in the zone and that's your tune, maybe you play a song before you go and see us each week. Maybe you play a tune to get you've got your own hype music. I know at the ground we've got a couple of tunes that we play, North London Forever, but maybe you've got some that you want to share with us. We'll make our own playlist. We don't need those guys. Thanks for tuning in and viewing. Like and subscribe, share with your friends. Hi to Judy Guna Grant, early viewer and listener. Hi also to Phil Anderson, North Bank legend of the game, and hi to everyone else that's been viewing, watching, liking, subscribing. We'll see you same time next week, hopefully with 2 trophies in hand. Enjoy the parade.